This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. It's time for Wyoming Sports Talk today on KRAE. Here are your hosts, Nick and Larry Proetti.
And welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk today. Happy New Year. Our program today being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne, South Greeley Highway, KRAE Avenue, also on Yellowstone Road, Delrange and Ridge, and Persian and Ridge. Drop on by and enjoy a perfecto taco today from Taco John's of Cheyenne. Kia of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. 19 is done. 20s are on the lot. You definitely want to check out Sorrento and Soul and all of the great-looking Kias on display today. Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank times 2. Banking done the old-fashioned way, done the high-technology way, done everything in between, including loans, whether it's an auto, whether it's a refi. How about just a good old-fashioned home loan? Talk with our good friends today, Platte Valley Bank, Vanda High, as well as the corner of College and Pershing. Chick-fil-A, Windmill, and Delrange serving up 3 delicious squares Monday through Saturday. Yes, we're getting back into that Monday through Saturday mode with no holidays, at least for a while. So again, head on over to Ray and Cindy's place right across from Menards and Powers Field. Windmill and Delrange, the home of Chick-fil-A. Dine in or use the 2 convenient drive-thrus. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs. Open Monday through Saturday. Shop indoors or use the convenient drive-thru. Located on Bluegrass Circle, next door to Texas Roadhouse. B&B Appliance and TV at 714 Central Avenue. For over a half century, we have come to, bank on B&B Appliance and TV having everything that we possibly need. And that is Maytag and Frigidaire and GE and Whirlpool and others. So again, check out Bruce and the crew over at B&B Appliance and TV at 714 Central Avenue, where they service what they sell. Lennox Auto Body over on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center on Pershing Boulevard. Yeah, thanks to Mother Nature, I'm sure they're getting a little extra business. So if you're getting dinged up or beaten up by the winds, make sure you get a hold of my good friend Heather and the crew over at Lennox Auto Body, 634-6608. First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue. And again, remember, over at First Tier Bank, they still offer some fantastic CD rates. So talk with the wonderful staff over there, open Monday through Friday at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Across the street if you want Paisan cuisine at its best. And again, for 5 decades now, Joe Mondello has been bringing you delicious Paisan cuisine, and it's only at Mondello's Pizzeria. It's not corporate. It's not out of a can. It's all homemade recipes. Mondello's Pizzeria. 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D. The Greenway Commons are open Monday through Sunday. Sundays from noon until 8. It's scoreboard time. Yes! Our scoreboard being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick.
We've missed a lot of scores, but we'll just talk about this weekend and what's coming up tonight. But for LCCC men's and women's basketball, Saturday's contest for the men here in town, part of the Golden Eagle New Year shootout, as they play host to the Western Nebraska Cougars. That contest for LCCC, they lost that one 93-56. So with that loss, the 5th straight loss in a row for LCCC, they fall to 2-12 overall. LCCC women's basketball on the road in Phoenix, Arizona, as we were a part of that road trip. Thursday's contest at Phoenix College, where LCCC got the victory 71-47. And Saturday's game at Arizona Christian JV, where they won that contest coming from behind 63-53. So that sweep down there in Phoenix, Arizona. LCCC women, they are 11-5 overall. Both will have a game coming up this Wednesday up in Powell, Wyoming, as we'll travel up to Northwest College. That is 5:30, at least for the women, 7:30 for the men coming up this Wednesday. So about 5:10 pregame show here on 1480 AM, 101.1 FM, 1480KRAE.com. So we're going to hear these contests. 1480 KRAE, at least the games will be streaming on Periscope via Twitter and also to the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel. NHL action for tonight, 4 games on the slate. Toronto Maple Leafs at home. They will host the Edmonton Oilers. You can see that game tonight at 5 o'clock on NBC Sports Network. Montreal Canadiens at home. They will host the Winnipeg Jets. Colorado Avalanche travel to New York to see the Islanders. And the LA Kings at Staples Center. They will play host to the Columbus Blue Jackets. That's what's happening in NHL action for tonight.
NBA, let's see, the Thunder and the 76ers tonight in the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, PA. Pacers Hornets in the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. Celtics and the Wizards at the Capital One Arena, Washington, D.C. In the Amway Center, Orlando, Florida, it will be the Magic hosting the Nets. Denver Nuggets on the road tonight. They're in Atlanta, G8, State Farm Arena. They will take on the Atlanta Hawks. Nuggets on the season, sporting a 24-11 mark as they go up against the 8-28 Hawks. Jazz Pelicans tonight in the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans. It's the Bucks and the Spurs in the AT&T Center. Bulls Mavericks in American Airlines Center, Dallas, Texas. And another Futility Bowl happening this evening. That will be in the Golden One Center in Sacramento, California. The Sacramento Kings and the Golden State Warriors. 22 wins between them and 51 losses between them. They will hook up in the late night contest on the left coast. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
All right, if you're a gamer, you know the world of gaming is full of amazing gear. Portable cannons, flying tanks, whoa, like that one, mythic artifacts. But the most advanced tool in gaming today isn't even in the game. It's right in your hand. Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel is purpose-built for gaming, created with pro gamers for gamers. What does that mean? It means it's formulated with ingredients that have been shown to improve accuracy, whoa, and alertness. And Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel tastes great too. Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel even comes in a special can with a uniquely textured grip, so it's easy to refuel between respawns. The ones you're furiously trying to avoid? Hey, there we go. So next time you log online, gear up. Get the drink designed for gaming. Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 KRAE.
Today, our first show of the new year. Good to be, well, let me rephrase that. We're back in Cheyenne.
It's not good to be back here, I'll tell you that right now.
Now with the winds and the cold and all that. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. I think back to when we got done.
We left Phoenix, it was about 70.
When we left Glendale at Arizona Christian University, walked outside, not a cloud in the sky, not a breeze in the trees. Absolutely gorgeous.
The only thing you had to deal with was more of the smog and smoke out there. But
it's
again,
always hazy in Phoenix.
Yeah,
I mean, it's no different than Denver.
And again, that deals with at least the valley out there, just how mountains surrounded it. Again, it kind of just sits and settles in there. But other than that, though, again, 60 degrees, no wind, nothing bad, sunshine. It was, a good weekend away. And again, it was a business trip as we were covering LCCC women's basketball on another kind of historic first. Again, as they were competing down there in Phoenix, they've already been to Arizona already once this year, or at least back in 2019 when they were competing down in Yuma, Arizona, part of that Thanksgiving Classic. But, now competing in Phoenix, Arizona, where, talking with Coach Ortmeyer could be things, at least a possibility in the future for LCCC. Again, the amount of at least community colleges, again, in that Phoenix area are plentiful. A lot of basketball talent out there as well, too. Whether it was the anticipated Glendale Community College that we were supposed to see on Saturday. Again, you could pick up JV squads from various universities. Also, too, again.
Yeah, they're also looking for a game, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, without a doubt. So, again, was an honor, a pleasure to at least be a part of another historic first for LCCC women's basketball. Again, getting the sweep, nonetheless.
Hey, how about 4-0 in the Valley of the Sun? If you think about it, they won their first two games in Yuma and then come back and get the two games in the Phoenix-Glendale area. So,
yeah.
And again, we're talking with Coach Ortmeyer on the bus ride home. It's like, hey, if you don't want to do Phoenix, I think you were pushing Texas on them. And I was saying maybe go to the left coast because, again, a lot of JUCOs in the Texas area, in addition to on the left coast.
Well, it's something that Coach Ortmeyer, again, at least he'll have his opportunity once we get back with the at least LCCC coaches show, talking about, it gets a little stagnant of seeing the similar teams. Again, you can do so much of seeing that same Region 9 South for non-conference, but you got to mix it up. And again, Coach Ortmeyer did that this season, seeing the teams out of Kansas, going over to being a part of that little tournament, going down to Yuma, now going down to Phoenix, Arizona. Again, you need those new looks. You also, too, need to get that name out there and also to have an opportunity to at least, while he's down there, scout whatever's going on, at least in those areas to potentially recruit up to the city of Cheyenne, or at least over to LCCC. So, again, a lot of benefits of these non-conference. It's something for him, for his team, and what to anticipate. Because again, the end goal for Coach Ortmeyer right now is, again, it's step by step, but he wants to get this team to a national tournament. Well, you need to see other teams out of Region 9 North, or at least out of Region 9 in just general, to get a good litmus test of where your team is compared to those that are going to come out of Arizona, Texas, New York, Florida, wherever it may be. You got to test yourself against some of those greats, across the nation, not just here in the Front Range.
Well, and we're seeing that in the soccer programs, too. And, by the way, while I'm mentioning soccer, congratulations going out to Vince Gibson on his latest honor, or his latest award, I should say. But anyway, you've seen with LCCC how once they started rising in the polls, all of a sudden now, in addition to the Region 9 that they're playing, now you're hearing the Texases of the world, the Florida trips of the world, I mean, they are expanding. Yes, we know all of these trips cost money, but again, too, you're getting away from the, I don't want to use the word the humdrum, but, the same old. You're getting away from the same old. And again, how do you measure your team against the rest of the nation?
And again, so far we've seen it with at least LCCC getting it done again against new opponents, new faces, and a team that's still trying to identify at least its character, or at least it took a bit there in that Phoenix trip. We saw what happened at least Thursday's contest against Phoenix College, where that was pretty much from the get-go LCCC taking care of business against 71-47. That was no contest, but also too, again, this is a Phoenix College team that coming into that game on a bit of a losing streak, and also to a team that is near dead last on just offense, whether it is shooting percentage, whether it is free throws, three-pointers. Team struggles from at least everywhere on that court, and we saw that at least, a plenty where if LCCC, how they played in that Thursday game, if you played against, the Caspers of the world, they might take advantage of it. It might be a little bit closer than what was indicated. But, we got a little taste, at least, a wake-up call on Saturday against that JV squad. Again, this is an NAIA school of Arizona Christian University, a school, or at least a ladies program, the Lady Firestorm, that have back-to-back years gone to the national tournament. So they got talent. Yeah. And again, this is a JV squad trying to accompany that varsity.
They started a kid at 6'4".
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, again, and she was, and again, this is no disrespect. She was built like an aircraft carrier. You tried to go inside, she's not moving. You were moving. You were going backwards.
Some of the men, at least around Region 9, are not moving her as well too. She was a big body.
And unfortunately for her, being heavy set, very few minutes she could play. I mean, a couple, 3 minutes here and there.
Yeah, but also stamina was the thing, because, again, it was quick bursts of about 1 or 2 minutes, and then she's out.
But when she was on the court, she was very effective.
She made her presence felt without a doubt. Again, she was at a point in time, I think, as we were at least talking halftime stats, leading at least the Lady Firestorm, or at least for point getters. She already had double figures. So, again, she was a big inside threat. But we're talking, that Saturday's game for LCCC, had to fight back from about 15-point under, at least, at half you got it down, you whittled it down to, I do believe, being down by 3, but, it was a point in time that the Lady Firestorm had about a 15-point advantage over LCCC. It looked like this was a completely different team than what we saw on Thursday. We figured that all offense by the Lady Golden Eagles were left in Phoenix College, but give credit to LCCC, Coach Ortmeyer and his squad of what they did, being able to come from behind. Again, tested, having that opportunity, you come away with a much-needed victory. Again, this counts toward that overall record. Mm-hmm. And again, you were down by 15, but however, you came away with a 10-point victory.
Hey, you know what? 11-5 as you head into the Region 9 North play. That's nothing to scoff at right now. Well, the thing is, too, and it's interesting that we're talking about this, really, they're the talk. The Cowgirls got beat at home.
Yeah.
Cowboys got walloped on the road against a so-so CSU team. Again, Cowboys scoring only
Yeah.
19 points in the first half. A 20-minute half, and they scored 19 points. And then, of course, the LCCC men's team, as you
Which
mentioned.
we'll get into, We'll talk about
they got blistered by Western Nebraska, which you and me are looking at each other going, we're not really surprised. We know Western Nebraska
Cougars
is good.
are good. They're good. They're good at the outfit without a doubt. But
And
going back to
the Golden Eagles got a shooting woes. They are not good from the outside right now.
We'll get into more of that because, again, there's a lot of issues going on right now with LCCC on the men's side of things. But going back to the women right now, again, LCCC 11-5 overall as they head into Region 9 North play. Again, this is conference time. This all matters towards that Region 9 at least tournament. Also to having that opportunity to at least host that first round game before getting into the bulk of it for that at least tourney. But you compare it to where this team is this year at 11-5 to last year's squad. Again, obviously different pieces, a different makeup of what Coach Ortmeyer had for 2018-2019. But you kind of compare and contrast. 9-6 is where they were a year ago as they were heading into Region 9 North play, as they were set to host Northwest College, a part of their Region 9 North play. So, at least a marked difference, at least so to speak. This squad is one or two better than what we saw last year, and that's good to see.
And and we were talking with Coach Ortmeyer as we spent a lot of time with him during our time down there, and I know he's showing that excitement. It's kind of guarded excitement right now about this team. He knows that he's got potential to either finish 1, 2, or 3 in that division. We were sitting there too, you and me going through, and he's kind of smiling while we're saying we're on. Hey, you're going here, you're going there. Let's see, you can win there, you can pick up a win here. I mean, before the season's over and done with, we're looking at possibly for LCCC Lady Golden Eagles, possibly. Without getting them all jazzed up here on the sports side, this could be the first 20-win team at LCCC.
I think there's a very good
in a year first.
There's a good possibility, but again, you're going to see those foes of North that are synonymous names of just being at least having good talent, good teams. That being Casper College, which we will see coming at least here to town this Saturday. Lady, at least Thunderbirds coming in, at least from Casper. Gillette's a good outfit. We know that without a doubt. Northwest, don't discount the Lady Trappers coming in. They are a team that is miles ahead of where they were last year. Kind of intertwined with a few sophomores, few freshmen, but for the Lady Trappers, they've improved from where they were last season. Sheridan could be a force. Eastern Wyoming, we're not sure about.
Central Wyoming up there as well, too.
Yeah, without a doubt. And again, Western, again, not posing a major threat, but again, you do have to travel out to Rock Springs at a point in time this season. So, again, road trips can be a little bit rough. But, again, there are possibilities to pick up those at least 9 wins for LCCC.
Again, as you mentioned, even if you split with all these schools, Powell, Casper, Sheridan, Gillette, Western, Eastern, Central, there's 7 wins right there just in splitting.
Yeah.
So, things could be on the right track for the Lady Golden Eagles right now. We're seeing, again, a lot of the freshmen, and again, the bulk of that team are freshmen. Haley Anderson is a sophomore, along with Saraven Allen and Jakia Wells. So those
and Alexis Lamoureux as well.
And Alexis sees probably the least amount of time of those 4. But the rest of these young ladies that are, Abby Giroux has been very, very, very significant inside. Kason Hobbs coming off the bench. Sam Hester.
Yeah.
I don't want leave anybody off, but Anna Chiron, who's handled the basketball very well. So, and now we're also seeing the development of Jimena Gutierrez from Colorado, where she is now coming in. She's like the press breaker. So she's a very good ball handler as well. So, again, you're starting to see things with the Lady Golden Eagles. And I think you and I will agree on that Saturday game. We looked at each other when they were down by 13 going, this shouldn't be happening. And then the next thing you know, they're up by 10.
Yeah, it was a situation, that Saturday game, where LCCC looked like it was going to be a rough game, that it was going to be that kind of guaranteed loss as it was starting to get out of hand against the Lady Firestorm. But LCCC found a way again. They had that bit of a run at the end of the second quarter, heading into halftime only down by 3, and then found a way to kind of turn it up, but also to what was fortunate enough as well, too, again, not to say it was all LCCC's doing, but also, too, it was the Lady Firestorm. How many times on that left-hand basket, missing easy baskets, or again, attempting the threes and just not hitting, where they were hitting those guaranteed in the first half. It was a little bit of both, where LCCC realized it was gut check time. We need to take care of business. And for the Lady Firestorm, where they were hot shooting without a doubt. They were making threes. They were making all sorts of shots from all over that court. They quieted down in that second half without a doubt.
I would say, too, the downer part of that trip for the Lady Golden Eagles, and we were kidding with Coach Ortmeyer about that, especially as he gave them the day off yesterday, and they were back to work. I think they're back to work right now as we speak. Free throw shooting. That was probably the only downer of that contest. Yes, they missed a few bunnies inside because
they finished above 50%.
But again, they're a better free throw shooting team than what we saw during that 2-day trip. And again, Coach Ortmeyer not making excuses, using the backdrops in some of these places because, again, if you remember in the revival tent that we were in on Saturday, there wasn't really a backdrop. It's kind of that shallow 3D look. You're looking at a stage with band instruments on it.
Well, a black curtain stage that was closer to the doors that had light coming out, where again that can affect the eyes without a doubt. And again, felt like it did affect both teams at a point in time with those kind of false backdrops there at part of that tent. Again, that tent court, so to speak, with Arizona Christian is just a temporary setup for them, but it is a unique area, and it's something that Coach Ortmeyer kind of mentioned of. We got it out of our system, and if anything, it prepares us for the likes of Gillette that's going to have that false background. Not going to see it at Northwest, not at Eastern, not even at LCCC, at Casper, wherever you go in Region 9 North, but Gillette might be that one issue. But other than that, though, you got it out of your system. For the future for some of those freshmen if you run into a situation like that, and there it is. But, again, for LCCC, again, down by 15, you come away with a 10-point victory. You talk about barely shooting above 50% from behind, at least from the charity stripe. You got to feel somewhat proud that this team can come from behind, at least from adversity, from those large deficits, and find a way at least to kind of dig in and come away with a victory.
Well, and again, we use the word resolve. They're very opportunistic. And I think back to that Phoenix College game that we did earlier on Thursday, where for some reason, and Phoenix College committed, 35, 36 turnovers?
A lot, yeah.
Because we weren't privy to a stat sheet. But the interesting part of that game was they kept trying to force things in the middle. And once LCCC did two things. Once they slipped into their zone, and when the lane is filled up, when you are in man-on-man coverage, and you have to give the Lady Golden Eagles their due. They do cover very closely on man-on-man. And sometimes you sneeze on them, you get a foul. I mean, we saw a couple of those down there. But when they're trying to when other teams are trying to force it inside, that's where LCCC makes a living in the turnover department. Boy, they were picking off passes left and right.
And that's nothing new.
That's what happened on Saturday as well, too.
Yeah, we've seen that plenty throughout this season with LCCC. That, again, that defense, when they are, that ball awareness, that ball vision out there on the court, again, knowing where it's going or at least anticipating those passes, again, steals are probably plentiful. And, again, without seeing the official, team stats of where we are 16 games of the season. But, again, you got to talk about a team that's probably near top 10 in the nation. I think easily has to be top 10 in the nation of steals per game, or at least total steals throughout at least 16 games played under their belts right now. And this team on the defensive side can be very good. On the inside, you got some issues. You have some issues. Again, it's more so with those bigs, as we saw with the Fuller, at least the lady that was 6'4", again, in the big body. You're going to run into more of those. We saw that with Otero. Otero's got some bigs, and we had issues.
We also, and talking with Coach Ortmeyer on the way home about that too, the boxing out. They're still not getting that gist of boxing out and making sure your opponent, we want your opponent to reach over you. That's when you're going to draw the foul.
Yeah.
So they're not being aggressive underneath on that defensive side. So if they can master that, again, a lot of opportunities go down the drain for the opposing team, because I think when we are very lax underneath on the defensive side, that's what usually kills us point-wise.
Yeah, without a doubt. But, from this past weekend, we saw pretty much everything from a blowout victory, from a come-from-behind victory for LCCC. Again, a sweep down there in the Valley of the Sun in Phoenix, Arizona, and Glendale, Arizona, respectively, for Arizona Christian University. But, we saw everything from carry calls to Jaquia Wells getting back-to-back warnings from officials to officials arriving late at one contest. Again, it was just a multitude of just interesting scenarios. But either way, though, for the Lady Golden Eagles and Coach Ortmeyer, you come away 2-0, adds to the record of 11-5 overall as you now prepare for Region 9 North play. You shook off some of that Christmas break ring rust, and now you're ready to at least kind of make a presence felt in this region once again, in the state of Wyoming. And again, your main goal right now for the next couple weeks is getting that opportunity to host first round possibility of that Region 9 tournament, being a high seed and having that chance to at least advance on to what is the ultimate end goal for any team out there, is reaching that national tournament in Texas.
Well, and again, too, you're going to start off with probably your lengthiest road trip of the season. I mean, let's be real.
Get it out of the way now.
Get it done now. Weather looks like it's going to be at least drivable.
And you wonder, and this could play a factor, but, being a little bit jet lagged or having at least being on the road, being in the air, already for about a couple of days. We just returned at least early Sunday morning, now having to travel at least tomorrow afternoon up to Powell, which again is about a 6-hour road trip. You wonder if that affects a little bit of the psyche or affects this team in any way possible as we head up to Powell to take on Northwest.
No, I don't think
Wednesday.
so, because they've been on the road a lot. And this,
but do you think they're a little bit road worried?
I think they're probably a little
so.
smarter than us. Again, there's no school.
Yeah, that's true.
School doesn't come back into session here till the 21st, 22nd. So again, you had time yesterday to just kick back over there in the dorms, whether you slept or not. And again, a lot of them, bless them, they know how to sleep. They were sleeping on the plane, they were sleeping on the bus on the way back. I mean, they know how to get their rest. So I think the rest is not going to come into play. They come prepared, too, when they're on the bus. So they already know we're going to be in for a lengthy bus ride tomorrow. Or, tomorrow afternoon we leave, and then we'll be coming back with the guys on Thursday. But, they find a way to, at least get some shut-eye and be ready when they come off the bus.
Yeah, without a doubt, but we'll see what happens. Again, we are at least taking on a Northwest team that has improved this year, coming off a big victory over, I do believe, Williston State for at least their non-conference, at least last contest for the Lady Trappers. So, again, a big contest coming up at least 5:30 this Wednesday live from Powell, Wyoming, as we will have that contest. Also, 2 men's contests, 5:30 women, 7:30 men, 5:10 at least tentative pregame show here on 1480 KRAE, so looking forward to it as, again, now we get into the heart of conference play for both LCCC men's and women.
So basically what we said here for about the last 25 minutes or so is that we actually worked on this trip. We weren't messing around. We
had some messing around opportunities. Yeah. I know I did.
No, the only thing that that we did that was messing around, I guess, was going to the Talking Stick Resort Arena.
Seeing the Suns, yeah, without a doubt, seeing that boring basketball
game. Yeah, but was that the facility is absolutely gorgeous next to the Chase ball field. But the second part of that was we went there, and again, we're thinking Suns and the Knicks, there's not going to be enough people in this place to start a good fight. The place was packed.
Well, again, tickets were relatively cheap to that game because no one cared. But again, it's Friday night. It's downtown Phoenix. You go there, you buy the cheap ticket, you watch a game for a little bit. But it gave credit to those Suns fans. A lot of them stuck around and, again, packed that place up where I was not anticipating that for both two terrible teams. Granted, the Suns are about a few games out from that 8th seed behind the San Antonio Spurs at this point in time. But, again, we still got a lot of NBA basketball remaining for, everyone in the league. But give kudos. Was not anticipating that. At least they showed up, supported their team, and watched at least the Suns come away with a victory over the Knicks.
And I did like the Booker youngster. I think he's very good. I was kind of disappointed. Ricky Rubio's just really, his game has really dropped.
He's just a journeyman. That's all he is.
And again too, but again, Booker. he could put that team on his back. I mean, he did against the Knicks, that's for sure. Anyway, but like I said, if we had goofing off time, that was it for me.
We had the team outing at the Suns game. I managed after the Phoenix College game to go see the Ducks and then Coyotes.
That's right, you did, huh? Yeah.
Hockey opportunity on that, at least Thursday night. So, again, was a business trip. But we got a chance to enjoy the sun, enjoy at least the weather, enjoy Phoenix in general as well, too. Again, post at least New Year's Day, at least that holiday. So, it was a chance for everyone to realize it was business time, pick up a few victories, and then, enjoy some time away from here.
And enjoy some really nice weather. That was the bottom line. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We'll come back again. The good news was the LCCC Lady Golden Eagles getting the sweep of the road trip. Bad news, well, we didn't do here too well locally with men's and women's basketball team on the collegiate side. We'll talk about that when we come back. B&B Appliance and TV has been your locally owned appliance store for well over 50-plus years. Not only do we offer several major brands, but we service what we sell. We also have the largest parts department in Laramie County. Next time you're in a big box store, just ask to see their parts in the service department. Then come visit the appliance experts at B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue. Best brands, hometown service.
If it happens on the diamond, the hardwood, the field, or even the ice, we'll talk about it on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Hi, this is Nick Peretti inviting you to join Larry Peretti and myself each weekday from 3 to 5 p.m. as we, along with our special guests, talk sports locally, regionally, and nationally. And you can chat with us too at 307-514-1071. It's Wyoming Sports Talk today only on 1480 KRAE, and you can stream live with us at 1480KRAE.com.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
For almost 30 years, I've had the pleasure to talk about Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service. Hi, this is Larry Peretti with an invitation to bring your vehicle into Cars for service and minor repairs that are done with precision and care. Now, I've known John and his staff for a long time, and when it comes to tune-ups, replacing shocks, fixing fuel pumps, replacing timing chains, working on heating and air conditioning units, or even just a good old-fashioned oil change, I only trust my car when it comes to service to be under the care of Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service. They are a TechNet professional, where their work is covered by a nationwide limited repair warranty that extends across North America for 24 months or 24,000 miles, whichever comes first. For more information, check out technetprofessional.com on the World Wide Web. Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service always goes one step above the rest when it comes to the care of your vehicle. 604 West Lincoln Way in Cheyenne, open Monday through Friday. Call and set up an appointment at 632-0498.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
What is Schwab's modern approach to investing? It's great service. It's transparency about how much you're paying in fees and commissions. It's offering some of the lowest costs in the industry backed by a satisfaction guarantee. If you're not satisfied for any reason, they'll refund the eligible fees and work with you to make things right. So ask yourself, are you getting low cost and award-winning service? If not, maybe it's time to call Schwab. Visit Sam at the Cheyenne Independent Branch or schwab.com/Cheyenne for more information. Charles Schwab and Company, Incorporated. Member SIPC.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Otherwise, for today, sunshine and windy. Expect a daytime high of 34, westerly winds at 40 to 45, gusting as high as 60. Mostly clear and windy for tonight. A low down to 25, westerly winds at 30 to 40, gusting as high as 55. Sunshine for tomorrow. We're expecting a daytime high of 44 degrees and continued windy. Westerly winds at 25 to 30, decreasing to 15 to 20 during the afternoon. And for Tuesday night, partly cloudy. Our low dropping down to 24 degrees.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We're back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Lots to talk about, and we'll probably run out of time before we get to everything. Do want to mention real quick, just changing the subject, new hire for the Dallas Cowboys in football. Mike McCarthy is now the new head coach, so we'll talk about that if time allows.
Good for that dumpster fire, but at least talking about at least new head coach hirings on the local side, though we haven't had a chance to mention this other than on our social media sides. But, as we knew
Soccer.
that. Yeah, if you let me say it, at least beforehand, we knew that Jim Garner was at least retiring after this season, for part of the Lady Golden Eagles women's soccer program over at LCCC. Well, we did find over the Christmas break that it was announced by at least Cindy Hennig, that they announced that the hiring of Nate Olness is the new head coach of LCCC women's soccer. He becomes the second head coach in LCCC women's soccer history. He takes over for Jim, who retires. After coaching at LCCC for 18 seasons. Coach Olness comes from Gillette College, at least part of the Lady Pronghorns, at least program where they were able to at least get to national tournament as well.
And who did they beat this year?
They beat LCCC. Yeah, they beat LCCC for the first time. Again, the lone loss was against Gillette College. So, a young coach. Looking forward to at least talking with him and catching up with him throughout at least off-season, and then as we head into at least regular season for LCCC. So, excited for the new era at LCCC, again, on the women's soccer program side.
All right, so anyway, let's go back into hoops as we have guys in addition to the ladies coming up on Wednesday. And again, Region 9 North is going to be even more of a tester for Jason Ficka's squad.
Well, and we know that, especially looking at a score from last night, a game that was happening here, a part of that Golden Eagle, at least holiday shootout, or again, it was long-winded, however, it's classified. Golden Eagle New Year's shootout, where we saw at least Western Nebraska take on LCCC. They're live at the rack. Also, too, you had Otero, nationally ranked Otero, take it on nationally, or at least a team that I do believe was on the outside looking in, or if not nationally ranked, but Western Wyoming, the Mustangs. You had to battle those two on a neutral side over there at the rack, where Western Wyoming found a way to pick up the win against Otero. They're live at the rack. So again, I do believe we saw yesterday Otero, number 6 in the nation as of polls of December 16. Again, a top 10 program. Western Wyoming find a way to get it done. Again, Western Wyoming themselves, if not outside looking in, but again, a team that's receiving votes, taking down Otero. So
now they're
again,
a pretty doggone good outfit. We've seen them on a couple of occasions.
And guess what? LCCC gets to see that Western Wyoming team twice.
Yeah. We go over there in Rock Springs, and then they come over to the rack.
And again, you have Western Wyoming. You're going to have, again, Gillette College that is doing very well on the men's side. Casper as well, I do believe, is ranked. I do believe Western, Gillette, and Casper, all three of those teams are going to be nationally ranked by the time the polls are out for the men, at least men's basketball. So, again, for LCCC, that's 3 nationally ranked teams that you're going to see 6 times this season. 6 times.
The schedule's not easy. I mean, it hasn't been easy for the Golden Eagles. The problem with the Golden Eagles, and again, there's too many to name, to be real honest. Shooting is one of them right now. And again, and you're more involved in this than I am, Nick, obviously. And I know you don't go, half-cocked into some of these things. But obviously the loss to Western Nebraska this past Saturday night was a tough pill to swallow. But again, we looked here and we asked ourselves, who didn't play?
Yeah.
And we see 3 names. 1 hasn't played all season long. 2 have played with the Golden Eagles.
2 have started of recent contests as well.
They were not
And again,
I don't know if they were ineligible.
Ineligibility did not. Again, you run into that situation of could they have been ineligible? Again, we have not talked with Coach Fick about that. We will get more information, as we get at least for that Wednesday contest against Northwest College, at least Trappers up there in Powell. But again, was it ineligibility? Was it that they just walked off the team? Was it a bug? Was it an illness? We don't know. But again, the notable names as we look at the roster that competed, or at least players that did get time that were on the stat sheet. Again, we were not there, was not broadcast or anything. But again, we go off the stat sheet. One, Chris Grace was not a part of the scoring sheet.
Damian Perry.
Damian Perry was not. And again, a guy that you've mentioned that we have yet to see on the hardwood. Again, we saw at least for LCCC in the preseason, at least in scrimmages. Yep.
Jared Boyce.
Jared Boyce is still at least not on that scoring sheet.
And they also have one young man that they're redshirting this year that I think is the youngster out of Utah, the 6'10" kid. They're redshirting him right now. But the thing is, you look at the lineup that was on the floor here on Saturday. They ran one guard and had 4 forwards out there.
Well, and the other thing as well, too, is you have 3 sophomores and then 2 freshmen.
Right. And again,
and on paper, again, where we talk night and day difference between freshman play and sophomore play, you got majority of your 3 of your 5 starters, sophomores that have been through these battles have, again, seen a lot of minutes. We'll give a little lax on Kyle because, again, with the injury of what he had last season, but he still played. He was still in those trenches for LCCC as a freshman. But, you got 3 sophomores on there that are competing that, again, still having issues, still seeing a lot of those mistakes. Again, Courtney Dean's probably the only one that you can kind of say, okay, he's elevated the game. He's becoming that team leader, so to speak, with LCCC. But again, nothing against Mateo. Mateo, his English, not the greatest.
Yeah, but I mean, he had 16 points. Dean had 7. Cabs had 2. There's your sophomore contingent right there, where they only had 25 points.
So at least the 2 sophomores, or at least as you mentioned with Mateo and again with Courtney, they at least tried to pick it up somewhat. Again, 16-6 for at least. Actually, as I look at it, at least Courtney picked up 7 points in that contest. So I mean, combined. They're trying to make some offensive movement, but again, your other, at least outside of Mateo, the at least highest scorer was Eric Oliver at 14 points, which again he has been kind of up and down throughout this season, trying to get more of that consistent pace.
He was 0 of 7 from outside the arc, 6 of 16 overall. But again, Caleb Davis fouled out. He had 6 points. Again, every time he's gone into that center circle, he's undersized.
Yeah.
By about 4 or 5 inches. So, again, going into this contest, and we can't really comment too much about it because we weren't there, we can say that the shooting was absolutely horrid. 35% in your own building. That's 24-68. That's not good.
How about 10% from behind the arc?
And that's really, really
that's what's going to kill you. That's what's going to kill you
now, yeah. And again, when we talked with Coach Fick way back, before they even, dribbled the basketball, we said, wow, this is a team that could put up a Hondo easy. You got some great outside shooters. And all of a sudden, we've seen over the last month and a half, I shouldn't say month and a half, about the last month, beginning of December, that outside shooting has gone bye-bye.
Again, this is an offense right now that is struggling to amass even around 70 points a game, which, again, if your defense can stand true, you can attempt to get a victory if you take on some of the lesser teams in Region 9 North. Again, nothing against Western Nebraska. They're a good outfit. We know that. Western Nebraska of last year, a nationally ranked program, they are good. They come into that contest as of yesterday, at least with the victory, 10-5 overall. So for LCCC, it is something where offense was already hard to come by for this team. It's just getting that much more difficult for this team. Again, as we see last night, 56 points in total for LCCC in 2 halves. 29 in the first, 27 in the second. You're not winning a single game with stats like that.
No, and again, like you mentioned, two of 19 from beyond the arc. That's just not going to get it done either. And again, you threw up more than your opponent. Your opponent was 5 of 15. But again, you look at the battle of the boards, rebounds, 40-37 in favor of Western Nebraska. Free throws, we went to the line 9 times total. They went to the line 25 times.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's some discouraging stats that you read out of this. But
20 turnovers to 15 for Western Nebraska. Again, turnovers we know has been a big issue for LCCC this season.
You moved Oliver to the point.
Yeah.
Oliver's not a point. He's been playing with the 2 for most of the season, 2 or 3.
Yeah, without a doubt. So again, it's adjustments. It's trying to find those new. Again, for Coach Ficka right now, you're trying to find out some winning formula. So you're going to make choices like that. You're going to do kind of out of the norm things. You're going to move Eric Oliver to this position. You're going to move pieces up and down, in and out, all around for LCCC to figure out what is the winning combination. Because yet right now, as we stand with 14 games in the season for the men, you haven't found it. You're right now, if anything, this is a team that is now trending backwards, not moving forwards, to picking up a win here or there. This is a team that now, as we look at Region 9 North, you wonder, it's a sad thing to say right now, will they pick up a single win in Region 9 North? We got a lot of talented teams on the men's side. Western, again, as we mentioned, Western, Casper, Gillette, nationally ranked teams. Sheridan's a good outfit.
Yeah.
Powell's going to be a good outfit without a doubt at Northwest. We know Eastern Wyoming brings at least a lot of talent.
They bring
a lot of sophomores back to the table, and Central as well too. Central Wyoming,
as well as Gillette. Gillette was all freshmen last year.
Yeah.
Again,
it is something for LCCC where this team looks like it's trending backwards than it is moving, at least taking a small step forward. That's all we're asking for is a small step forward. But it seems like it's taken about 1 or 2 steps back.
But it's got to be the guys on the floor that got to take the step forward, Nick. Obviously, coaches always get that, the bad rap. I mean, look, Coach Edwards, okay? He's taken.
Well, hell, we even saw it. We saw it at least Saturday night again, at least, and we'll get into it. But again, as Tyler from the at least Wyoming Tribune,
I want to get into that. But I'm saying though, coaches are always the first ones to get the hell.
Yeah.
And Coach Ficka, along with Coach Salisbury, the 14 years they've been there. They've amassed over 200-plus wins in their time at LCCC. All right? They've also placed young men, and again, and I'm not going to make excuses for them. They don't want me to.
No.
But again, when they were out recruiting, they had their recruits and they had their team based on a couple of players that ended up bolting in August.
I would say bolting, but again, it is something of where it was here or there of it's a possibility that we'll retain, again, at least an Applegrim. We may retain a Tyrese Patoma, but
right.
again, that option to stay at LCCC or move on to a Cleveland State or Wofford, hey, guess what? Coach Ficka as well, too, is going to say, hey, get out of here. Go to the four.
You're getting your education taken care of. You get to play basketball, and you're playing at a Division
But
I.
it is something that we talked throughout the offseason that Coach Ficka was in that kind of limbo mode of, will we retain them? If we do, perfect. We got those sophomores that are, again, vets that'll be a part of this team. If we lose them, then we're in big trouble because then we are in a rush to figure out how to replace a 7-footer, how do we replace a talented point guard in one Tyrese Patoma.
Again, I'm not making excuses for these guys, but the thing is, you look at today's team, on paper, they're not bad. On paper.
They got talent, again, without a doubt. We know that they have talent, but it is a team that is – it's a team of individuals.
But
it's a team that's not playing as a team.
They don't mesh on the court well together.
And
don't know why.
I think, and Coach Ficka has mentioned that to us many a time, and I've even bluntly asked him on the coach's show, is it a situation of lack of communication on the floor? And I think without a doubt it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, your team leader right now, and I use air quotes on that, and I do believe that he is that guy that, players are going to look to for his presence out there, is one Courtney Dean. But even when we talk with Courtney Dean, even on the coach's show, guys, he's
a silent leader.
He's a silent talker. He's a guy that's, of a man of few words without a doubt, who's not going to be that vocal guy that yells and says, hey, get in that position, move here.
Nobody's grabbing the bull by the horns.
Yeah.
Let's be real honest, Nick.
Yeah.
Nobody on this team wants to step up. We've even had Eric Oliver sit down, look at both you and me on the coach's show too, and express some frustration with all of this. It's got to be tough for these guys. I mean, they come from established programs in Denver. He had great teams at Cheyenne East. Yes, they didn't win a state championship, but by golly, they were on the state championship floor. They won a lot of games during his time there. So, again, you're looking at a lot of these young men that are just totally frustrated right now. They're 2-12.
Yeah. 5-game losing streak, and it's a situation that...
And they've been their own worst enemy. That's what's even worse. It's not that, it's like, you're down by 13 at halftime. Then all of a sudden, there's that little burst of about 3-4 minutes. They don't score, LCCC, and the other team puts up about 20 points on you.
Yeah, it has a
next
big
you're
offensive rush.
30.
Yeah, without a doubt. And it looks like that was the same situation last night or at least Saturday night against Western Nebraska. So, again, 100% at least agree with you on that right now for the Golden Eagles, they're their own worst enemy out on the court now. And it's something that I've said from the beginning of where we saw at least when we joined up with LCCC here in 2019-2020, as we were heading down to Northeastern Junior College there, at least in Sterling, Colorado, for that first contest. I said it then, I'll say it now again as this team sits, as you mentioned, 2-12 overall as we head into Region 9 North play. It's a team that needs It's a team that needs communication on the floor. It's a team that needs to play as a team, no longer has those selective individuals out there.
They need a doggone
You cannot rely on Eric Oliver every night. You cannot rely on Mateo Zocco, Courtney Dean, or one of those players to step up, put up 20, 30 points. No, you got to be what Western Nebraska was Saturday night, where, again, you look at that at least final stat sheet for the Cougars, who came away, again, 93-56. 5 different players. In double figures.
Yeah, and I'm not being mean. They need a kick in the rear end. They're their own worst enemy.
I think,
they need to clean their act up.
This game hopefully should be that kick in the rear end for LCCC.
And again, now that leads into what you were explaining to me on the ride home.
Well, and Coach Ortmeyer as well saw it too, because again he follows at least.
And again,
on the social media side.
I'm not into that stuff. And again, obviously, I'm not a tweeter, but you have your handle and everybody else. But the newspaper was there.
Yeah, Tyler was there.
Tyler Pulaski was there covering the game while we weren't. And, he had some comments from the coach, right?
Yeah, Coach had also got comments from Eric Oliver as well, too, from that night. Starting with at least Coach Ficco from what he said of last night's at least comments. Again, at least giving credit to Tyler, but Coach Ficco says, quote, it's a cliche, but you just keep plugging away. It's hard. It's hard. I really don't know. I don't think in my career I've ever been 2-12 at any point. Had some not very successful seasons, but 2-12 is uncharted territory, end quote. And that's coming from head coach Jason Ficca after that loss, that major loss Saturday night against Western Nebraska. Eric Oliver, he also talked with Tyler after the game, and here's his thoughts on what happened. But Eric Oliver says, quote, I don't even know where to begin, honestly. We just ain't got no pride, really. We get punched in the mouth, and then we just fold. I think that's just the theme of the whole season, really. We don't know how to punch back. When it comes to teams out with more energy every game, start talking a little crap or whatever the case may be, we just fold. It sucks, but we can't control that. We just lie down too quick. Something got to change for sure, end quote. And again, that's coming from Eric Oliver. And also, too, something that Tyler at least picked up during the game again as they sit courtside, and you can hear that chatter in the rack again. It is not a very loud place.
But you also sit by the opponent's bench.
Yeah, you sit by the opponent's bench on that side as well, too, where, again, heard, at least I do believe. He overheard at least one player basically saying, hey, we don't really need to try. We're going to just, beat the hell out of this LCCC team, as I'm looking at trying to find that quote. It was something that, hopefully. Yeah, it was from Western Nebraska's Teddy Allen, who says, quote, I don't have to play well against this team, end quote. So, again.
And he put up 24 points.
If I'm Coach Ficca, and if I'm any Golden Eagle, a part of that squad, I look at that tweet right there from Tyler. I pin that on the wall. I pin that on my locker and basically look at it every single practice, every single time you are in that rack, and look at it and basically say, we need to change that. We need opponents to fear us. Opponents to respect us once again, without a doubt. Because right now,
how do you
do that? That is the magic
the
question.
The fear and the respect. How do you get that back? How do you
how do you do that? You put a statement win coming up Wednesday night against Northwest on the road.
I would hope they do. I really do. I mean, I like these guys. They're not a bad outfit. When they hit buckets, you brought up Northeastern. That second half against Northeastern, that was a team that we were hoping to see all season long.
Yeah.
They came out and basically punched the Plainsmen in the mouth. They lost, but they also surrendered, 20-plus point lead in the first half, but they came back and actually had a shot at winning that thing.
Yeah, I almost had that come from behind victory down there in Sterling, Colorado, but it is something that LCCC, in some contests have been very competitive. We've seen that plenty of time out of this team that they can compete. But right now, again, as folks look at that record, see that they are 2-12, allowing victories like this of what we saw this Saturday, again, 93-56. Teams are going to go and see on the schedule, hey, goody for us, we got Golden Eagles coming in. We should smack these guys around. We should come away with no less of 20, 30, 40-point victories right now. You got to change that culture. Someone's got to step up. Someone,
and you got to do it Wednesday night.
I think some individuals, not just someone. I think right now you need a full team captains, so to speak. You need individuals a part of this team to step up and basically say, we're changing the culture. This is unacceptable.
And again, we're going to worry about the stat sheet.
Yeah,
don't worry about that.
Yeah,
and don't worry about that the game is live on the radio. And don't worry about the game as being visually seen on YouTube. Because again, if you want to know what you're looking like on YouTube, it's not good right now.
Yeah,
or
for
Periscope.
For potential scouts right now, it's something that they're not tuning in. They're looking at that other team.
They're not impressed right now. So quit looking at the stat sheet. What you should be looking at is what the Allen kid said from the Cougars. You should be looking at that real closely, taking that to heart. Also, too, there was somebody else that you mentioned, someone else that popped off, in reference to the coach. And I was like, dude, you haven't even been out to an LCCC game.
Clearly hasn't seen him from what his comments were, at least regarding at least one of the tweets from Tyler, at least regarding the quote. I do believe it was one, at least local comedian, per se, whatever.
And he's done very well for himself. But, whether he was trying to be cutesy or funny, you weren't funny when you wrote your little tweet.
I don't think it was trying to be funny. I think, if anything, that was trying to show off some passion, some fandom for LCCC, but it was something a little above and beyond where it was almost kind of pathetic of what you put out there, where, obviously it shows that you're not a true fan.
And you're not there.
Yeah, you're not there. You do not see what is going on in that court right now. Again, and even tune in of what we broadcast, whether it is those games, the post-game, pre-game comments with Jason Ficca, even the coach's show as well, too. Again, this is a coach that has said many a time that, again, he's put this 2-12 on his back.
Yeah.
He's basically said, hey, I'm trying to do my best. We're trying to figure out, we're going basically back to fundamentals right now with this team to figure out how do we get back to that win combination.
And they still may be in the fundamental mode.
Yeah.
That game right there comes, a week after they returned. I think they all came back the day after Christmas or a couple days after Christmas.
Yeah.
And Coach Ficca said on our last coaches show, hey, I've got to do this, or even on our last pregame show that we had with him against Trinidad State, he said, I've got to do more of individual work than these 5-on-5s and what have you. So, again, they could still be in that mode of learning all over again.
And hopefully what this game is, of what we saw Saturday night, again, it does matter to the overall. Does not affect at least conference play for Region 9 North for LCCC, but it is, maybe it was a situation of ring rust, where the ladies ran into it down in Phoenix. It is, a team that has not seen action since, what we're looking back about December 14th, so quite some time being away from the court, or at least live action for the Golden Eagles. So hopefully this is that one game where you shake off the ring rust, you remember how to play basketball, get back into that basketball mood, and prepare for what's upcoming of the conference play, and get ready for Wednesday night's contest up in Powell, Wyoming.
Yeah, really, 2-11 is like kind of
2-12.
2-12, excuse me, is under the carpet right now. Now you're 0-0.
You're 0-0.
So I mean, again, what we say to the team right now: what kind of man are you?
Yeah.
Are you gonna pony up to the bar?
Are you gonna
sit in the back?
Are you gonna have a Teddy Allen from Western Nebraska basically say, "Hey, you guys suck. I don't need to try, and we're coming away with a victory"? Or are you gonna gut check, kind of pick things up, so to speak, find some fortitude within you, and basically show, at least basically say, "Hey, Region 9 North, respect us. We're actually a lot better than you think we are."
And what you need to do, really, is as we send this message out to these young men. Hey, take it out on somebody. Take it out on the Trappers.
Yeah.
There you go. Go up there with play with an attitude.
Yeah.
That's what this team is too passive. They need to get active.
They're almost emotionless. You need to get some motion, basically go out there and, not physically start a fight, but again, kind of go out there with some fire. Get some fire out there. Get some energy. Get fired up. Show some intimidation to those players. Show that 2-12 does not affect you. That, again, you are a different team than what that record indicates.
Be a tone setter, not one that has to, oh, look, we got to catch those guys. They're way ahead of us.
Yeah.
All right, we do need to move into hour number 2. Boy, we've talked LCCC basketball ad nauseum here for a whole hour. We will be back with hour number 2 right after this.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
It's time for Wyoming Sports Talk today on KRAE. Here are your hosts, Nick and Larry Proetti.
And hour number 2 being brought to you by Mondello's Pizzeria at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. First Tier Bank right across the street, 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Lennox Auto Body over in Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center over in Pershing Boulevard, both part of Lennox Enterprises. B&B Appliance and TV at 714 Central Avenue. Medicap Pharmacy right on Bluegrass Circle. Same location as always, next door to Texas Roadhouse. Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Del Range, serving up 3 delicious squares Monday through Saturday across from Powers Field and Menards, Ray and City's Place, Windmill and Del Range Chick-fil-A. Platte Valley Bank, 2 banking locations for you. On Vandehigh, the original location, and the east side location at the corner of College and Pershing, Platte Valley Bank times 2. Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way, the 20s need to be sold now. You never know when the 21s are going to start showing up, so let's get out there and start buying those 20s. See my good buddy AJ and the crew over at Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way. And we want to thank Taco John's of Cheyenne, South Greeley Highway, KRAE Avenue, Yellowstone Road, Del Range and Ridge, also Pershing and Ridge, the homes for your delicious eats and treats from Taco John's. And at Scoreboard Time, it's being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We check in first with Nick.
LCCC action, as I mentioned beforehand, men's and women's basketball, as we talked in hour number 1. But give you a quick recap again, LCCC in action this past Saturday at home, a part of that Golden Eagle New Year's shootout as they hosted Western Nebraska Community College, the Cougars, where unfortunately LCCC did lose that contest 93-56, so LCCC falls 2-12 overall. Women, however, and Phoenix College, at least also 2 at Arizona Christian JV. Thursday's game against Lady Bears of Phoenix College, where LCCC came away with a victory 71-47. Game 2 against the Lady Firestorm of Arizona Christian, the JV squad, where LCCC got that victory 63-53. So the sweep down there in the Valley of the Sun means that LCCC now sits at 11-5 overall. Both LCCC men and women will have a game coming up this Wednesday. Games that you can hear here on 1480 AM, 101.1 FM, 1480KRAE.com, and video live streaming on Periscope via Twitter and the 1480KRAE YouTube channel, as LCCC will take on Northwest College up there in Powell, Wyoming. 5:30 is the tip-off time for women, 7:30 start time for the men tentatively. 5:10-ish pregame show here on 1480KRAE. NHL action for tonight, 4 games on the slate. Toronto Maple Leafs at home. They will host the Edmonton Oilers. You can see that game coming up at 5 o'clock tonight on NBC Sports Network. Montreal Canadiens at home host the Winnipeg Jets. The Colorado Avalanche on the road. They will travel to New York to see the Islanders. And last but not least, the LA Kings at Staples Center. They will play host to the Columbus Blue Jackets. That's what's happening in NHL action for tonight.
And we move on to the NBA board. Here's what's going on. It will be the Thunder taking on the 76ers. That will be in the Wells Fargo Arena. Also on tap, Pacers at the Hornets, Celtics and the Wizards in the Cap One Arena. Nets Magic in the Amway Center. Nuggets with their 24-11 mark. They're 9-7 away from the can. They will go up against the Hawks at the State Farm Arena. Jazz Pelicans in the Smoothie King Center. Bucks Spurs in the AT&T Center. Bulls Mavericks in American Airlines Center in Dallas, and at the Golden One Center in Sacramento, California. Sacramento Kings and the Golden State Warriors will have the late night contest on the left coast. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
I'm Nate.
And I'm Kate.
And we're not just literal taste buds. We're best buds.
And there's nothing that we love more than a
cool,
crisp,
deliciously refreshing Pepsi.
Sure, we live inside your mouth.
But that doesn't mean we don't enjoy the finer things.
Hey, Nate. Pepsi incoming!
Here it comes!
Tastes so good.
Tell me about it.
So,
Amazing.
that's what I was thinking.
It's like we share the same mouth, Kate.
Forever and ever, Nate.
Make your taste buds happy and pick up a delicious, refreshing Pepsi.
Family owned and operated Lennox Auto Body, along with the Auto Glass and Detail Center, has been serving our community for over 25 years with quality service and workmanship. So when you want it done right the first time, call Lennox Auto Body at 634-6608 for an appointment. Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue. And the Auto Glass and Detail Center, remember, it's not clean until it's Lennox clean at 617 East Pershing Boulevard.
Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Your locally owned and operated radio stations, KYOI FM and 1480 KRAE AM, are just that, local, serving Cheyenne and Laramie County, where your advertising dollar stays local too. It doesn't end up in Colorado, Oklahoma, New Hampshire, or even New York. We conduct business here, we shop here, and we live here. And we support our entire community 24/7, 365. Just because it has a window dressing doesn't mean it isn't a facade. A reminder from KYOI and 1480 KRAE.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need.
Since 1966, family-owned and operated Capital Lumber Company has been the stop for all lumber, paint, tools, accessories, remodel and do-it-yourself projects, and so much more. Now, Capital Lumber Company announces the beginning of a tasty relationship with Traeger Grills, as they now have in stock several models of Traeger Grills, along with pellets and accessories. Capital Lumber Company at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne.
If you're looking for fun and adventure, Kia of Cheyenne is the place to start, and the 2019 Kia Sorento will help you find it. I'm AJ Miller, and the 2019 Kia Sorento will give you what you need to make things happen. This vehicle has plenty of power, all-season traction, safety features, technology, and comfort for any road you're on. The Kia Sorento offers plenty of standard features for the money, and we're all about saving you money. Come in, call 775-0123, or go to KiaofCheyenne.com, and we'll make it easy.
Huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. Let's ring in the new year with these super radio buys heard only right here. Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 Original Tennessee Whiskey, 750 milliliter bottle, $15.99. Bud Light, Coors Light, or Miller Lite Super Suits, 24-pack, 16-ounce cans, $22.99. And Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey, 750 milliliter bottle, $11.49. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low price leader.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. So which way do you want to turn? Nick, do you want to go to the Arizona Bowl, or do you want to go keep it on a hoops mode?
What is there to say about the Arizona Bowl?
Well, that we won.
Who cares?
38-17.
I mean, that is honestly where, were you supposed to beat Georgia State?
Yes.
Yes. Did you beat Georgia State
Yes.
in a big fashion? Yes. Congrats. You did what you were supposed to do, what you were expected to do. And a bowl that really did not mean a whole lot other than, fans did show up. Guess what? We know Wyoming fans are going to show up. They do to whatever.
And it's Tucson.
Yeah, it's Tucson. It's warm. It's a lot better than here in Wyoming at this point in time of the year. But, again, is it something that you should be, holding a parade in the streets of Laramie, Wyoming for beating Georgia State out of the Sun Belt, who is also 7-5 as well, too, on this season? Not really. Congrats. Again, you got to play one extra football game. And again, for Craig Bowl, you added more bonuses to your already large paycheck from the University of Wyoming. Congrats, I guess. It was a bowl that was not excited for. Seeing the end result, still not excited for. Again, congrats, you won.
Well, I mean,
in this era that we give every single team, it seems like at this point in time, a bowl game to participate in. yay, you did it.
Well, for the Cowboys against I thought was a very weak Georgia State team, the Panthers, we put up 524 yards total offense. Did not see Tyler Vanderwall.
As Tyler Vanderwall, again, we know that is
adios.
Yeah, he's bye-bye from the
But
University
Levi
of Wyoming.
Williams, again,
if anything,
he was 11 of 26.
The cruel irony from this game was more so that one Brent Vegan basically said, hey, it's a game that really...
We'll try to throw it.
Yeah, we decide this time around to throw it. And guess what? Hey, kind of paid off in big dividends. You actually put up a lot of more points than you're at least accustomed to there, Wyoming Cowboys.
3 touchdown passes. Let's see. Valladay got one. Eberhardt got one. And Austin Conway finally got a touchdown
But
pass.
the cruel irony, again, from that game is, all of a sudden now at the end of the year, we decide to throw the football, and we feel confident with the freshman Levi Williams to at least air out that pass. So, again, Brent Vegan, who we've said and you've been very vocal about, that the guy needs to exit out, but kind of almost kind of giving a middle finger to at least the Cowboy Nation of saying, hey, this is what we were holding back from this entire season because we just want to be a run-only option, at least team here in the Mountain West Conference. So hopefully that is something that kind of kick him in the rear, so to speak, with being one at least assistant coach, at least Vegan, of saying, hey, guess what? You got quarterbacks that can throw the football. Guess what? Quarterbacks, that's what their job is kind of primarily to do, is throw a football.
But you got Sean Chambers coming back next year, and again, fingers crossed that he will come back 100%.
Yeah.
You got Levi Williams now, who will vie for that starting position. Both can run the football.
Mm-hmm.
I think Levi was 12 rushes for 53 yards. Both can throw the football, not excessively great, but they can throw it. So I don't know what to make out of this team. Again, we'll know here when they get to spring ball.
Yeah.
What's to be expected. But again, you lost some seniors, both sides of the football.
Some big names, yeah, without a doubt on both sides. That's going to affect Wyoming, but it is starting to become a team that can reload every year. It feels like they're kind of in that position, but also to again. I think it was our conversation with Coach Hortmeyer over this past weekend of, again, as him being a Nebraska fan, as they're dealing with their woes right now on the football side of things, as they kind of have some confidence heading into next year with Scott Frost as their head coach. But, we look at here, again, with the Wyoming Cowboys, yeah, you got your consistency of going to bowl games, albeit, again, Idaho Potato Bowl, Arizona, the Arizona Bowl. Boring, at least you're going postseason bowling, so to speak. I mean, congrats.
Well, let's look at Arizona Bowl. They probably lost money on this. The university lost money.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why they lost money. Again, of the guaranteed paycheck for being in that bowl, first off, half of it goes to the Mountain West.
Yeah, it gets divvied out to the conference.
Okay, and then you had to make sure you sold the tickets, which I think the Cowboys did.
I think they went above and beyond, which we anticipated.
Think about all of the VIPs, the team, all going down to the bowl. Again, nights and hotels, food,
hotel, transportation.
So, when it's all said and done,
swag goodies, yeah.
This bowl basically is going to turn into a red bowl for the Cowboys.
Which is fine. I think the Cowboys, at least throughout the season, whether it is TV deals or again, kind of getting into that brand notoriety,
and they had good attendance, so I'm not taking anything away from that.
Yeah, so
I'm just saying they didn't make any money off this.
No, it was pretty much you went there, you came away with a victory, you got your players some swag, and send off the seniors in somewhat of a positive way for the Wyoming Cowboys. But other than that, though, again, it was a bowl that, again, does not move the litmus meter for me. Again, it's still a Wyoming Cowboys team that is led by Craig Bull, that is still finding himself sub 500 in Mount West play. Mm-hmm. Still has yet to, again, he got a share of the at least Mountain Division title. Still didn't come away with the Mountain West Conference Championship as he was anticipated to. And again, as we approach 7 seasons with the guy, that he has still not brought a conference championship that he was basically promising, or at least saying, hey, that's what I'm here for. You still haven't done that, though.
And the offense was
offense
was about as bad as it was last year.
The offense was probably one of the worst. It was
passing,
and I think stat-wise, it showed that it was one of the worst in college football.
But we did see the emergence of Valladay. as a top runner.
And we saw that last year.
And Chambers, when healthy, and again, too, with Sean, now this is 2 seasons he's been injured.
Yeah.
So where do you draw the line on Sean? You want to keep him out on the field.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you cut back on his running the football?
Again, that is all up. We'll see what happens spring ball and once we get into that new, fresh season for the Wyoming Cowboys. But it is a situation that you got pieces moving in and out. The interesting factoid for the Wyoming Cowboys is we saw, at least in that National Signing Day, not a whole lot of offensive pieces, at least of offensive weapons for a Sean Chambers or Levi Williams, whoever is going to be that starting quarterback. We'll see what happens as we get closer to the start of that, at least the 2020 season for the Wyoming Cowboys. But if it's any indication of what we saw this season, probably I would expect a similar result next year. Without even seeing the non-conference, I think the non-conference gets at least kind of split, so to speak, where you're going to have that tough opponent out of the gates, and then you're going to take on a Weber State or something like that. But
it's too early even to call it, so I'm not even going to get in that mode. But I was off this year because I had him down for, 4 or 5 wins. So
I had him 2, 3.
I had him at 4 wins, so they proved me wrong. They won 4 more.
Yeah,
so
they went 7-5. You went 500 in the conference. Still a team that just sits kind of middle of the road, mediocre.
Well, and again, you got 2 teams that are going to be above you right away next season. Boise always going to be up there, and Air Force.
I think Air Force
is going to be the senior-laden team next year.
Air Force is going to be a very, very interesting.
New coach at CSU, don't know what they're going to do. New Mexico, new coach at New Mexico.
As well too,
don't know what's going to happen with New Mexico.
UNLV's got
Utah State, don't know what's going to happen there.
Well, again, you look at the West right now. Again, UNLV also too with the new head coach. We'll see what happens with Fresno State on that side. Hawaii emerges that they are a talented bunch that are bringing back a lot of talent. Again, Nevada, who knows with the Wolfpack? Wolfpack kind of just seemed that middle of the road.
San Diego State, they're always good.
San Diego State, if they figure out how to score points, that could be a very dangerous team.
Let's look at, matter of fact, talking about the Mountain West, see how these teams did fare in the bowls. On the Frisco Bowl side, Utah State got outscored by Kent State, 51-41. That's kind of a slap in the face. I think this was the biggest slap in the face, though, at the Las Vegas Bowl. Boise State got lunched.
Yeah.
38-7 by the Pac-12 and the Washington Huskies. San Diego State.
Again, don't discount Washington, though. They're a good outfit in the Pac-12.
I'm not saying
it was a team that was anticipated for the past couple of years to get to the college football playoff.
Boise State got beat from the get-go. And then San Diego State, you were worried about them having offense. They got plenty of it.
Yeah.
48-11 over Central Michigan.
But it seems like that was a common theme, though, for San Diego and Wyoming. Hey, here's some of these lesser opponents. Let's be honest, San Diego State, again, plays in a little bit better conference than what they just saw there. Same with Wyoming against the Sun Belt team of Georgia State. No surprise that this offense rears its head, so to speak, in these bowl games for both teams. When these teams don't really match up talent for talent, at least talent for talent, with you on that gridiron.
Now the Hawaii Bowl, and you mentioned Hawaii, and deservedly so. This young man, if he decides to come back, which I think he will for his senior year, Cole McDonald, 28 of 46, 493 yards, 4 touchdowns against BYU.
Mm-hmm.
Hawaii beats the Cougars 38-34 on the islands.
No surprise.
And again, BYU has a lot of connections out there, especially in the Hawaii area. The Mormon community. Let's see who else was involved.
Nevada and Ohio. Didn't see what that is.
Air Force beat Washington State. Beat them in the Cheez-It Bowl, 31-21. And then, of course, we look at Wyoming as your last.
You didn't mention Nevada and Ohio.
No, I got that one. Nevada got beat.
Yeah.
They got beat soundly. Matter of fact, that was at the Idaho Potato Bowl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Famous Potato Bowl. Ohio beat them 30-21. So actually, Nevada rallied in the fourth quarter. I got bored with that one. I mean, it was so ugly. But other
than that, though, again, the Mountain West, where they try to show their muscle early on in non-conference, of basically saying, hey, we got a Missouri win, we got a Purdue win here, we got some at least quality wins throughout our Mountain West teams.
We only got 3 wins out of the Mountain West.
Yeah, but at least in the bowl games, you look at Washington at least thumping, Boise State, who is supposed to be kind of your leader team in the conference. does not look good and reflect well on that conference. You know, outside of that, does the Wyoming win over Georgia State help the conference? Not really. It doesn't prove anything. Same with San Diego State. Doesn't prove anything. Hawaii over BYU, again, doesn't really prove anything, even though BYU got quality wins, but BYU kind of struggled on in to get a bowl game this year. Again, Nevada losing to Ohio, that hurts. You look at Air Force over Washington State, helps a bit, but Washington State also too was at least a 500 team heading into that. So again, bowl overall, to kind of summarize or at least basically showcase off what the Mountain West had talent-wise on teams, it really didn't help out that conference, especially on recruiting, where you look at some ugly bowls, some ugly losses, and it basically says, hey, Mountain West, yeah, you're still that mid-major conference.
Well, and you look at how many bowl games were played, and again, if you say that
nearly like 100? I don't know.
No, it's close to 40 games.
I mean, hell, it feels like it starts at like the 1st of December.
But if you rank them as far as paydays are concerned, the Bahamas Bowl with Buffalo and Charlotte, that was the lowest paid bowl. Then you follow it, the Arizona Bowl, that was the next lowest out of the 40 bowl games. So what are you telling me? That teams number 77 and 78 battled for the Arizona Bowl?
Basically, I think without a doubt.
That's exactly it.
I honestly believe if college football did not have the amount of bowls, if it was kind of subtracted to where it was
it's so about
a decade ago, Wyoming would not be playing at Georgia State. Neither of those would have been playing a bowl game this year.
I mean, I remember the Cowboys were 10-3 when they lost to BYU in the WAC championship under Joe Tiller and did not get a bowl game.
Yeah.
I mean, this team here at 7-5, again, the watermark to at least be bowl eligible is 6 wins. So again, and like you mentioned, this is so watered down in some of these bowls, corporate bowl sponsorships. That's what's making them, allowing these extra teams to play. ESPN is ponying up all this money.
And they got it for now. We'll see if that kind of eventually dries up for whatever reason. But for Wyoming, as I mentioned, that 7 wins, you had 2, or at least I think about 1 or 2 victories this year that were against quality, or at least teams that were above 500 that ended the season. One being Nevada, and I forget who the other one was. It wasn't Mizzou, because Mizzou kind of trailed off there at the end.
Well, I was watching. I watched the Rose Bowl. That was the only bowl game, and then again, the championship. I watched a little bit of the championship, but Oregon and Wisconsin. Boy, that delivered.
That was a fun one.
28-27. That was a great game. I enjoyed it. But, all the other ones, I could care less. I watched
even the college football playoff again with Oklahoma and LSU. That was a dog game. But also, too, I basically said that Oklahoma was just entering in. It was Baylor, Oklahoma, or whoever else was on the fringe looking in was pretty much they all were kind of had that death notice already written for them as they were taking on LSU.
And do you realize we still have another bowl game going on tonight? It's at Mobile, Alabama. This is the Lending Tree Bowl between Louisiana and Miami of Ohio.
Oh, boy.
And then we got the championship, the national championship in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. That'll be next Monday night with Clemson and LSU.
Which is going to be
and I think that's going to be – I hope that one delivers. I think that's going to be a good ball game.
LSU is anticipated to be your at least champion. Take it on at least Clemson, defending champs. So.
And surprisingly enough, they're only 5.5-point favorites in this one.
They're 2 very talented teams, and it could go either way. But if we were to preview that contest, I feel confident in LSU. I think the Tigers have proven enough this season that they should take care of business, and that could be that could get to an ugly contest for Clemson.
I don't think so. I think this
LSU.
I think this is going
both
to be
sides
closer.
of the ball.
I agree with you. I'm not going to argue that. But I do believe Clemson's got that firepower to strike at any time as well.
Yeah, they show that. Yeah.
They may get down. Let's just say, for argument's sake, they get down by about 17. They'll nip at you and come back. But again, if you fall double digits behind LSU, that might be too much of a road to overcome. But I like the offense on Clemson Tigers. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We're going to come back with more after this here on 1480 KRAE. Cheyenne Neurological, serving the Cheyenne area for over 20 years, proudly introduces another valuable addition to its staff, Dr. John Suleski, board-certified urologist, comes to us from Michigan, where he's practiced for over 25 years. Joining Doctors Bryant, Everett, and Gieske, Dr. Suleski sees all urological patients, but specializes in dealing with kidney stones, BPH, and other men's issues. For the finest in urinary care, call Cheyenne Urological at 635-4131. This might not be your New Year's resolution, but it should be. Never drink and drive. Ever. Be smart and stay safe. Getting behind the wheel after even one drink is a recipe for disaster. Be the envy of your friends and stick to your resolution. You'll be glad you did, and you'll be here to talk about it. Don't drink and drive. Paid for by Federal Highway Safety Funds.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
MHP is a certified public accounting and consulting firm located in Bow, Cheyenne, and Fort Collins, offering accounting, tax, and consulting services to businesses, not-for-profit, government, and individual clients. MHP takes pride in their commitment to providing close, personal attention to their clients. They also continue to invest time and resources in continuing education, state-of-the-art computer technology, and valuing their relationships with you. MHP is a proud supporter of local and UW athletics. MHP, 314 West 18th Street, or call 634-2151. Do you want the peace of mind of a professionally installed security camera system? Then go with a name you trust, High West Digital Solutions, a High West energy company. The experienced team at High West Digital Solutions will customize a video security system for you, helping you keep an eye on everything going on inside or outside your home or business. Go to hwds.com or call 307-245-4333. High West Digital Solutions, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you. B&B Appliance and TV has been your locally owned appliance store for well over 50-plus years. Not only do we offer several major brands, but we service what we sell. We also have the largest parts department in Laramie County. Next time you're in a big box store, just ask to see their parts in the service department. Then come visit the appliance experts at B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue. Best brands, hometown service.
Brandt Audiology and Sherrard Hearing Centers have teamed up and are now Brandt Audiology and Tinnitus. Hi, I'm Dr. Ruby Zubrod. Our new team allows us to work with Audibel and all national hearing aid brands. We now cover many communities in the southeast Wyoming and western Nebraska area. Call to schedule your appointment so our team can help you with any hearing healthcare need. Call 426-4327 or find us at brandtaudiology.com.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Otherwise, for today, sunshine and windy. Expect a daytime high of 34, westerly winds at 40 to 45, gusting as high as 60. Mostly clear and windy for tonight. Low down to 25, westerly winds at 30 to 40, gusting as high as 55. Sunshine for tomorrow. We're expecting a daytime high of 44 degrees and continued windy. Westerly winds at 25 to 30, decreasing to 15 to 20 during the afternoon. And for Tuesday night, partly cloudy. Our low dropping down to 24 degrees.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today, as we are looking at basketball for UW this weekend. It was a rough weekend for both the Cowgirls and the Cowboys at Moby, and I was having coffee with a friend of mine today, and again, I remember those days going down where we had a couple of sections, cordoned off for us to, us Wyoming fans. If there were 100 Wyoming fans in the stands this past Saturday at Moby, we would be lucky.
I'd be highly surprised.
Yeah, nobody came down for that one. And again, no disrespect to anybody that did make that drive down. I'm just saying we just didn't have the fan
You're almost
power.
crazy if you did. But again, for CSU versus Wyoming on the men's side of things, happening down there in Fort Collins, it was a battle of two teams that are just pretty much just awful right now.
Doggone it, 19 points. Again, I say this to the Cowboys, and again, Allen Edwards is going to get the brunt of this. But you can't score 19 points and expect to win.
No.
20-minute half and you're scoring 19 points. We're over there giving grief to LCCC. They at least put up 29 in the first half.
Yeah, without a doubt. Again, for University of Wyoming, taking on CSU, two teams that were looking for their first win so far here in Mountain West Conference play. Well, CSU got it. Basically proving that I think Wyoming, it's safe to say that this team does not hit double-figure wins overall this year.
Do they even win in Mountain West?
You have a shot against San Jose State, but
Everybody
again,
has
you got to go to San Jose State.
Yeah.
That's your only option. But other than that, though, again, they're talking about at least it was funny on the Twitter side of things, or at least social media for the Wyoming Cowboys basketball program, basically saying, hey, coming up this week, we host San Diego State. That's number 6 in the nation. Hey, or at least we've been kind of successful against top 25 programs here at the AA. This team does not have a prayer against San Diego State. Do not go out to the to the AA to anticipate a Wyoming upset against San Diego State coming up this week.
And
that
again,
is not going to happen.
School's not in session, so the student support is going to be nil.
If anything, if fans tune in for this contest, or at least go over to Laramie for this game, it's more so to see a number 6 nationally ranked San Diego State team to see if they're for real. And I think you're going to see that coming up, at least for that contest. Wyoming does not stand a chance. If you struggle that much against CSU, what are the possibilities against San Diego State?
Well, and then again, you look, we were talking about, with the guys in LCCC, look at the Cowboys. Hunter Maldonado played all 40 minutes. Hey, bless his heart.
Who is your quintessential kind of team leader? So
25 points. He was 8 of 19 from the field. He was better from beyond the arc, 4 of 7.
That basically tells me that you are relying on him to win these ball games, as you did Justin James last year. Is the same situation here, that you're saying, Hunter, take this team to the promised land. We're relying on you to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. He's not going to do it. We know it. You need players out there. You need pieces to help him out.
Here's the scary part. He had 9 turnovers.
Yeah.
Alone. 9 turnovers. Again, Hunter Thompson, the Pine Bluffs product. What are you? Are you a guy that wants to stand behind the arc and just shoot 3-pointers, or are you the guy that we need inside at 6'10", 6'11"?
He's got to be the guy inside. He should not be standing from behind the arc.
He got 7 defensive rebounds, but again, he's 3 of 7 from the field in 34 minutes with 8 points. So Hendricks, 12 points in 37 minutes. He's 4 of 12 from the field, 3 of 10 from beyond the arc. But again, I go back to Maldonado. He's 4-7 from the land of 3. So we're talking about everything inside. He's 4 of 12.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not good shooting.
Well, in more bad news for Wyoming basketball, at least on the men's side of things, forwards Austin Mueller and also Tyler Mormon, they are expected to miss the rest of the season. So now you have players basically now running into the injury bug, now exiting for the Cowboys.
So you got 10 healthy bodies now on the Cowboys?
Yeah.
Holy Toledo.
Yeah, so again, it gets from bad to worse, where this team, it's something right now for the Cowboys. The season is a complete wash. The writing's on the wall. And again, nothing against Coach Allen Edwards. We've been talking about this for quite some time now. We knew it was going to happen. I think we can at least pretty solid say that Coach Allen Edwards, I don't think returns after the end of this season. I think that's the unfortunate news. I think with the hand that he's been dealt over the past couple seasons, again, where they were back-to-back, let's not forget that Allen Edwards got this team 20-win seasons back-to-back and then just ran into injury bug last year, and then this year has a young group that is just not meshing well. But I think with the writing on the wall right now is indicating, and as we talk about and kind of preview this conference schedule as we heat up right now in the Mountain West for the Wyoming Cowboys, it's a team that, at max, you're seeing maybe 2, 3 Mountain West victories, 4 if you're hopeful.
And again, they lost to what I felt.
It's a team that overall should not have 10 wins.
The team they lost to on Saturday at Fort Collins. So it might be fate turning around when they come back to the double A. CSU, they're mediocre.
Yeah, they're not good either.
And again, you look at the teams above CSU. They've already lost to Air Force, Boise State. So you've got Utah State at 13-4, New Mexico, which we've already lost to. You got UNLV, that's 8-8, but they're perfect in the conference right now. Nevada's perfect in the conference; they're 10-5. Nobody's beaten San Diego State.
Again, as they stand 15-0, again, number 6 in the nation. So that game coming up at least this Wednesday. They're live at the AA. But, when San Diego State coming to town, you're not winning that one. UNLV coming to town, you got a shot, but I don't think you're going to beat the Running Rebs. You go travel to Nevada. Nevada sits at 10-5 right now. Out to Reno, sorry, not going to have a shot. Your chance to win a game, I think that might be your one that you pick up in the conference, honestly, is when you host Fresno State, who sits right now 5-10. And the Bulldogs, who have just been pretty rough this year, pretty much on the same vein of the Wyoming Cowboys of just, they got terrible shooting. Defense is just kind of up and down. That might be a situation that, thankfully, at home, there in Laramie, Wyoming, at least the Cowboys should come away with a victory.
I don't know, Nick. I mean,
but other than that, though, again, after that, this is just for the month of at least January. You go to San Diego State, you're not winning that one, and then you're at home hosting Utah State, who is sitting at 13-4 right now. We'll see what happens, by the end of January.
But I'm saying though, they played a couple of mediocre teams for the Mountain West, Boise and CSU.
And if you go back to Air Force as well, too, again, how do you blow that one against Air Force?
I don't know. They lost in the AA.
Yeah.
So, and now you got to go to Air Force. But the thing is, with the Cowboys,
and that's
even the Boise State game, they just are not putting any biscuits in the basket. It's not getting it done.
Yeah.
This offense has struggled from the get-go this season. They've had that one game where they had to go to overtime, where they scored.
Basically, we're repeating ourselves with LCCC and University of Wyoming right now on the men's side of things. That both teams are pretty rough right now. Both teams are having offensive struggles. Both teams
is D1,
they're not teams.
This is D1. This is not JUCO.
Yeah.
Okay? This is the big time. Again, where you are playing in a arena auditorium that seats over 12,000.
Compared to the rack that sits about maybe max 500, 600.
If that. But the thing is, they're not drawing flies in there. I've got people. I've got friends of mine.
Feel like we have more fans pack the rack than we do there.
I've got friends telling me now that their season ticket holders, they're not even going anymore.
And why should they? Why waste the money?
So
why waste the gas? Because it is something that this team is not doing anything. You know that they're not winning conference championships. You know that they're not going to be successful in the Mountain West. They're not turning things around. They've had opportunity.
They'll go to
the non-conference for Wyoming was not that difficult for them.
No.
It's not a situation of saying, okay, they're 5-11, and they survived or at least barely survived a tough non-conference. No, that was pretty much heavy with weak opponents that you should beat. The Denvers of the world. How you lose 3 straight to Northern Colorado, I'll never understand. Taking on a Utah Valley, seeing some other Nebraska Wesleyan. Sure, you had Colorado,
but here are the losses in the preseason. South Carolina,
respectable.
Cal State Fullerton.
No, you shouldn't have lost.
Oregon State got clobbered by Oregon State late.
It should have been a much closer game. But yeah, again, I give credit to Oregon State. Not a powerhouse of the Pac-12, but they should still be
neutral court. They lost to the Buffaloes,
and they should.
TCU
should lose.
Okay, then they get beat by Air Force, New Mexico, University of Northern Colorado for the third consecutive year.
Unacceptable there.
Then they was it Utah Valley they lost to.
Uh-huh.
Then they come back, and then you think, well, maybe the ship is righted a little bit. They beat the DU Pioneers. Like, hey, DU,
and on the road, too.
Yeah, right there at their house. And then they got Nebraska Wesleyan. Then they lead back into Mo West play, and they lay an egg at Boise.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely laid an egg in Moby. And now
they're going to get thumped
coming
up Wednesday.
San Diego State next and UNLV. Again, Two teams
UNLV,
right here.
UNLV, you got a slight chance. San Diego State, not a prayer.
I'm just trying to look at the Mountain West wins for UNLV right now. They've beaten Fresno.
All right.
So
nothing spectacular.
81-80. They slipped by Fresno.
That's not good.
They beat the Air Force 71-59.
Another terrible team. So.
Yeah, but again, you beat Air Force.
That's what I'm saying. You have a shot against UNLV. Again, that is not an impressive Mountain West wins list so far for the Running Reds.
And you beat Utah State 70-53.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a quality win.
So there you go. I mean, you're looking at your next two opponents. We don't even need to go to the San Diego State log because they've beaten everybody.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. We'll be back with more after this on 1480 KRAE.
When you are dealing with the coin shop to buy, sell, or trade your gold, silver, or other precious metals, you will be met with honesty, fairness, knowledge, and exceptional customer service. The Coin Shop has been serving Cheyenne since 1982 and is a respected member of our community. Call David today at 778-7196 to meet privately or visit during regular business hours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 p.m. The Coin Shop, a dealer you can trust, 510 West 16th Street.
What is Schwab's modern approach to investing? It's great service. It's transparency about how much you're paying in fees and commissions. It's offering some of the lowest costs in the industry backed by a satisfaction guarantee. If you're not satisfied for any reason, they'll refund the eligible fees and work with you to make things right. So ask yourself, are you getting low cost and award-winning service? If not, maybe it's time to call Schwab. Visit Sam at the Cheyenne Independent Branch or schwab.com/Cheyenne for more information. Charles Schwab and Company, Incorporated. Member SIPC.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY-FM and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Larry Proetti at 307-637-0301.
Capital Lumber is lumber one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need.
Since 1966, family-owned and operated Capital Lumber Company has been the stop for all lumber, paint, tools, accessories, remodel and do-it-yourself projects, and so much more. Now, Capital Lumber Company announces the beginning of a tasty relationship with Traeger Grills, as they now have in stock several models of Traeger Grills, along with pellets and accessories. Capital Lumber Company at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne.
You're looking for fun and style? Then the new 2019 Kia Optima has what you need. And here at Kia of Cheyenne, we can help you own one. I'm AJ Miller, and the 2019 Kia Optima will reward your daily drive with comfort, performance, and advanced engineering. Kia Optima technology, your phone allows access to remote lock or unlock, climate control, 24-hour roadside assistance, and much more. Come in, call 775-0123, or go to KiaofCheyenne.com, and we'll make it easy.
Say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Otherwise, for today, sunshine and windy. Expect a daytime high of 34, westerly winds at 40 to 45, gusting as high as 60. Mostly clear and windy for tonight. A low down to 25, westerly winds at 30 to 40, gusting as high as 55. Sunshine for tomorrow. We're expecting a daytime high of 44 degrees and continued windy. Westerly winds at 25 to 30, decreasing to 15 to 20 during the afternoon. And for Tuesday night, partly cloudy. Our low dropping down to 24 degrees.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Back on Wyoming Sports Talk today, let's not forget the Cowgirls. They split as they defeat Boise State at home and they lose to the Lady Rams at home. Cowgirls game behind Fresno State at 3-1 in conference play, 7-6 overall. And the surprising stat of that 7-6, they're 4-4 in the AA.
Yeah.
So again, for the Cowgirls, I think that loss against the Lady Rams, who improved to 2-2, that one was just an off day. I mean, that's about all you can say for the Cowgirls.
Yeah, hopefully it's not a trend throughout the Mountain West play for this team. But again, it's a Cowgirls team that is a little bit off than what we're used to of recent years. Again, under new head coach, at least Gerald Madison, of what we're seeing right now. But you would assume that, again, he's been a part of the program for so long, he'll get them at least in the right way.
That second half for the Cowgirls, I mean, they only put up 21 points. I mean, they couldn't find the rhythm. I mean, this was a battle because you were keeping up on that score. Halftime they went in, they were down 29-28. But in the second half, it was just like they never could get their feet underneath them, so to speak, and they just ended up blowing that one. All right, so Cowgirls 3-1 in the Mountain West, so they're above the Mendoza line right now. And, again, a game behind Fresno State. All right, real quick, before we call it a day, just go through the NFL. I don't know, any surprises from the National Football League?
Nothing, as I told you, that Minnesota had a shot against the Saints, albeit, again, controversial call in that one. Again, you're going to have...
Now, let's stop right there. Now, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I want to stop you because I had a friend of mine just go ape nuts over this yesterday. And again, New Orleans got screwed again because it does show that the Minnesota receivers pushing off.
Yeah.
And New York says, no. Touchdown.
Is the NFL out to get the New Orleans Saints?
Sean Payton.
Yeah, probably Sean Payton.
Sean Payton,
especially after being vocal.
I think he's on the list. I think he's on a hit list.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good possibility without a doubt, especially after last year of being vocal of saying, hey, the NFL's a joke and, Roger Goodell's a complete joke.
Goes back even further when he was suspended.
Yeah, without a doubt. So I would not doubt that the NFL has a slight target towards him. Are they affecting calls? You'd like to believe that they are, that they're not, but I mean, again, it was kind of indisputable evidence that it did happen. But either way, though, again, you move on. Minnesota will take on the 49ers coming up at least this weekend. So, again, that swap where 49ers avoid the matchup with the Seahawks once again, but could happen in the NFC Championship due to the fact that they defeated Philadelphia. Not surprised. Philly is just completely hurt. They had no business making it in. But
was that a cheap shot by Clowney on Wentz?
I thought so. Seeing it again multiple times
by today's standards.
I
mean, how do you stop in midair though?
Yeah, that's.
I mean, you freeze. Hey.
Yeah, but either way, though, again, it's a hit or it's a hit. You saw after post game that again Russell Wilson comes up, talks with the Philly coach, saying, "Hey, how is Wentz doing?" So at least there was some concern there. But either way, though, outside of that, again, Seahawks move on. They'll take on the Green Bay Packers. That should be an interesting matchup there. Again, that game happening out in Lambeau. We'll see what the conditions are like up there in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Cold.
Yeah, but we'll also see if there's snow as well, which may affect that game for the Seattle Seahawks, again, that are not used to snow and cold a whole lot.
No, it's usually damp up in the Northwest, but iceberg cold in Lambeau Field, I don't think so.
Yeah.
So
the only surprise is on the AFC side. Tennessee getting the victory against at least New England.
Oh, and all the Boo Birds are out now on Tom Brady. I mean, let's take a look at the run.
No, it's not the Boo Birds. It's more so of is this the end of Tom Brady? I don't think so.
That's what I'm saying. Let's look at the run by the Patriots though. For almost 20 years, I mean, they have been at the top, near the top.
Yeah, again, one bad season or at least one early playoff exit. If that's worrisome to bring up some of this bad fandom or bad just kind of media press on the New England Patriots, that's not bad. Again, where you're so used to this team making it to the Super Bowl, if not the AFC Championship, we're an early first-round exit, a team that did win their AFC East division again. I mean, that tells wonders of how big of a dynasty the Patriots are.
And is Tom Brady back next season?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, without a doubt. This proves, if anything, though, that Tom Brady can't do it by himself anymore. He needs help. He needs wide receivers. He needs big-time talent.
And he also, I don't know, does he need a backup? And the backup would be maybe a free agent like Marcus Mariota?
Yeah, Nick Mullins could be another option
Nick
as
Mullins,
well, too.
I think Mullins is going to be a good, serviceable quarterback.
He was supposed to be, at least. He was sought out after this entire offseason, but no, at least went after him. So we'll see what happens if the Patriots do look at that or a Mariota. But either way, though, Tennessee moving on. That was a bit surprising.
They get Baltimore.
And then, so Baltimore is going to take care of business against Tennessee. And then you look at the other matchup, Bills losing in overtime.
I was pretty bummed on that one. But I'm more upset with Buffalo going way too conservative. They're up 16-0.
You went way too conservative, but found a way to blow that game and at least not, that defense not finding a way to slow things down. But, got it to overtime for the Houston Texans, a Texans team that, again, thought were going to be a little bit better than what they showed against Buffalo. They're going to need to show up a little bit more against Kansas City, although Kansas City does not impress me. They still don't. I think Houston has a good shot in that contest to move on to the AFC Championship, but Houston has the tools, has the talent, had enough to get past that Buffalo Bills team, and they did it in overtime as well, too. So, again, you have your final at least 8 set up right now, again, on the AFC side with Baltimore and Tennessee, Houston and Kansas City, NFC side, San Fran versus Minnesota, and, again, Green Bay versus Seattle. So, good. It's good to see that at least now you'll have a new Super Bowl champion out of all these 8, because, again, with the Patriots now exiting out, you will see a new champion this year.
Right. And, the thing, too, I go back to the Buffalo game.
And also, too, we'll have two teams as well, because as I think about it, the Rams are not in the playoffs. So, yes, we'll have 2 new teams in the Super Bowl.
I was going to say, going back to the Buffalo game, one thing that you should learn from that, there's only one team that could get away with being conservative, and that coach is no longer alive, and that team of the 80s not playing anymore. That would be Bill Walsh. When he went conservative, they usually could sit on those leads and hold on the leads, and they could also eat up clock while they were doing it. But Sean McDermott, you got a long way to go before you can get to that point. All right, so with that all being said, the NFL playoffs are set up, and, I'm intrigued by Minnesota, San Francisco. Luckily, that's going to be at Levi's. The Seattle-Green Bay game really has my eye raised. I think Baltimore, boat races, Tennessee. I'm not all that impressed with Tennessee. Tannehill, okay, great. He's done a good job in relief.
Baltimore should have no problem. That is probably the highest guarantee.
I think if it's cold, Kansas City is going to take care of business against Houston. Hey, no show tomorrow.
No show this entire week.
Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. This is our only show.
Tuesday we're on the road up to Pal, and then Wednesday we have games. Thursday we'll be heading
home
back from Pal, and then Friday we'll have high school action. So set things up. Wednesday, again, LCCC at Northwest College, 5:30 and 7:30, men's and women's action. Friday, high school, at least basketball action, again, it is the start of the Taco John's Invitational this Thursday, but we will have Friday's action. We will see Cheyenne South for the first time, boys and girls. Girls will be hosting Evanston, the Lady Red Devils. That is a 6:30 start time, 8 o'clock with the boys as they will take on Casper Kelly Walsh. So a nice little, at least different,
different look at 2 different teams.
Yeah, a split for whatever reason. But again, we will have boys and girls action for Cheyenne South, live from Cheyenne South Friday. Again, myself and Chris Polton. And then Saturday here in town, live at the rack, LCCC men's and women's action as they host Casper College, 2 and 4 o'clock.
All right, let me see if I remember this because it's been a long time. It was like last year. We got Space Patrol ×2 coming up from 8